So now we are going to start with chapter 2, which is Physiology of Eye and Vision. Physiology of Eye. Sense of vision is a complex function of the two eyes and their central connections. The main prerequisite for visual function is the maintenance of clear refractive media of the eye. The major factor responsible for transparency of the ocular media is their avascularity. Structures forming refractive media of the eye from anterior to posterior are tear film, cornea, aqueous humor, crystalline lens, and vitreous humor. Important physiological processes involved in the normal functioning of the eyes are physiology of tears, physiology of cornea, physiology of crystalline lens, physiology of aqueous humor, and maintenance of intraocular pressure. Physiology of pupil, physiology of binocular vision, physiology of ocular motility, and physiology of vision. Physiology of tears. Tear film plays a vital role in maintaining the transparency of cornea. The physiological aspects of the tears and tear film are described in chapter 16. Physiology of cornea. The cornea forms the main refractive medium of the eye. Physiological aspects in relation to cornea include transparency of cornea, nutrition and metabolism of cornea, permeability of cornea, and corneal wound healing. Physiology of crystalline lens. The crystalline lens is a transparent structure playing main role in the focusing mechanism for vision. Its physiological aspects include lens transparency, metabolic activities of the lens, and accommodation. Physiology of aqueous humor and maintenance of intraocular pressure. The aqueous humor is a clear watery fluid filling the anterior chamber and the posterior chamber of the eyeball. In addition to its role in maintaining a proper intraocular pressure, it also plays an important metabolic role by providing substrates and removing metabolites from the avascular cornea and the crystalline lens. Physiology of vision. Physiology of vision is a complex phenomenon which is still poorly understood. The main mechanisms involved in the physiology of vision are initiation of vision, phototransduction, a function of photoreceptors, rods, and cones, processing and transmission of the visual sensation, a function of image processing cells of retina and visual pathway, and visual perception, a function of the visual cortex and related areas of cerebral cortex. Initiation of vision, phototransduction. The rods and the cones present in the retina serve as the sensory nerve endings for visual sensation and are called photoreceptors. These transform the light energy into visual nerve impulse. Distribution of photoreceptors in the retina is as below. Fovea, only cones responsible for day and color vision. Parafoveal region, both rods and cones with rod predominance. Peripheral retina, mainly rods responsible for vision in dim illumination. Light falling upon the retina causes photochemical changes, which in turn trigger a cascade of biochemical reactions that result in generation of electrical changes. Photochemical changes occurring in the rods and cones are essentially similar, but the changes in rod pigment, that is rhodopsin or visual purple, have been studied in more detail. This whole phenomenon of conversion of light energy into nerve impulse is known as phototransduction. Photochemical changes. The photochemical changes include rhodopsin bleaching. Rhodopsin refers to the visual pigment present in the rods, the receptors for night, scotopic vision. Its maximum absorption spectrum is around 500 nanometers. Rhodopsin consists of a colorless protein called opsin coupled with a carotenoid called retinine, vitamin A aldehyde or 11-cis-retinal. Light falling on the rods converts 11-cis-retinal component of rhodopsin into all-trans retinal through various stages. The all-trans retinal so formed is soon separated from the opsin. This process of separation is called photodecomposition, and the rhodopsin is said to be bleached by the action of light. Rhodopsin regeneration. The 11-cis retinal is regenerated from the alt-trans retinal, separated from the opsin, and vitamin A, all transretinol, supplied from the blood. The 11-cis retinal then reunites with opsin in the rod outer segment to form rhodopsin. This whole process is called rhodopsin regeneration. Thus, the bleaching of rhodopsin occurs under the influence of light, whereas the regeneration process is independent of light, proceeding equally well in light and darkness. Visual cycle. In the retina of living animals, under constant light stimulation, a steady state must exist, under which the rate of which the photochemicals are bleached is equal to the rate at which they are generated. This equilibrium between the photo decomposition and degeneration of visual pigments is referred to as the visual cycle. Electrical changes. The activated rhodopsin following exposure to light triggers a cascade of complex biochemical reactions which ultimately result in the generation of receptor potential in the photoreceptors. In this way, the light energy is converted into electrical energy which is further processed and transmitted via the visual pathway. Processing and transmission of visual impulse. The processing and transmission of the visual impulse generated by the photoreceptors occurs at three levels: the retina, the lateral geniculate body, and the visual cortex. Processing and transmission of visual impulse in the retina. The receptor potential generated in the photoreceptors is transmitted by electrotonic conduction, that is, direct flow of electric current, and not as action potential, to other cells of the retina like bipolar cells, horizontal cells, amacrine cells, and ganglion cells. Horizontal cells transmit signals horizontally to the bipolar cells. Their main function is to enhance the visual contrast by causing lateral inhibition. Bipolar cells from the first order neuron of visual pathways and their dendrites are stimulated by photoreceptors. Electrical response of bipolar cells, local graded potential, after modification by the amacrine cells is transmitted to the ganglion cells. Ganglion cells form the second order neurons of the visual pathway. These cells transmit the visual signals by means of action potential to the neurons of lateral geniculate body. The phenomenon of processing of visual impulse is very complicated. It is now clear that visual image is deciphered and analyzed in both serial and parallel fashion. Serial processing, the successor cells in both magnocellular pathway and parvocellular pathway, starting from the photoreceptors to the cells of lateral geniculate body, are involved in increasingly complex analysis of image. This is called sequential or serial processing of visual information. These are large cells, magno or M cells, and small cells, parvo or P cells. There are striking differences between the sensitivity of M and P cells to stimulus features. So now let's see the differences in the sensitivity of M and P cells to stimulus features. M cell, there is no color contrast. P cell, there is color contrast. M cell, higher luminance contrast. P cell, lower luminance contrast. M cell, spatial frequency is lower. P cell, spatial frequency is higher. M cell, temporal frequency is higher. And in P cell, the temporal frequency is lower. Parallel processing of visual signals by two separate pathways starts from the two types of retinal ganglion cells: the magnocells M cells and the parvo P cells. Magnocellular pathway starts from the M cells, which are larger and concerned with black and white response, perception of movement, and rough match of the objects. Parvocellular pathway starts from P cells, which are smaller and predominant in the macular area. These cells are concerned with finer details of the objects and also with color vision. Visual processing in the lateral geniculate body. Ganglion cell axons passing through the optic nerve, chiasma, and optic tract project a detailed spatial recognition of retina on the lateral geniculate body with precise point-to-point localization. The LGB has, that is the lateral geniculate body, has 6 well-defined layers of neurons on each side. Layers 1, 4 and 6 receive input from the contralateral eye, whereas the layers 2, 3, 5 receive input from the ipsilateral eye. Parallel processing of visual signals also continues in the neurons of the lateral geniculate body, which forms the third order neuron of the visual pathway. Magnocellular pathway from the M ganglion cells terminates in magno neurons of the lateral geniculate body present in layer 1 and 2. The magnocellular pathway from layer 1 and 2 of lateral geniculate body carries signals for detection of movement, depth, and rough sketch of the object and projects it to the visual cortex. Parvocellular pathway from the P ganglion cells of retina terminates in the parvo cells of the lateral geniculate body, present in the layer 3, 4, 5, and 6. The parvocellular pathway from these P cells carries signals of color vision and finer details of the object and projects it to the visual cortex. Visual processing in the visual cortex. Primary visual cortex, striate, receives input from the lateral geniculate body, LGP, and after transforming it, transmits it to the secondary visual cortex, which is extrastriate, which in turn transmits it to the higher visual centers. Visual perception. It is a complex integration of light sense, form sense of contrast, and color sense. The receptive field organization of the retina and the visual cortex are used to encode the information about a visual image. Light sense. It is the awareness of the light. The minimum brightness required to evoke a sensation of light is called light minimum. It should be measured when the eye is dark adapted for at least 20 to 30 minutes. The human eye in its ordinary use throughout the day is capable of functioning normally over an exceedingly wide range of illumination by a highly complex phenomenon termed as visual adaptation. The process of visual adaptation primarily involves dark adaptation and light adaptation. Dark adaptation is the adjustment to in dim illumination, and light adaptation is the adjustment to bright illumination. Dark, ada- Dark adaptation, it is the ability of the eye to adapt itself to decreasing illumination. When one goes from bright sunshine into a dimly lit room, one cannot perceive the objects in the room until some time has elapsed. During this period, eye is adapting to low illumination. The time taken to see in dim illumination is called dark adaptation time. The rods are much more sensitive to low illumination than the cones. Therefore, rods are used more in dim light, that is scotopic vision, and cones in bright light, which is photopic vision. Dark adaptation curve. It is plotted with illumination of test object in the vertical axis and duration of dark adaptation along the horizontal axis. Shows that visual threshold falls progressively in the darkened room for about half an hour until a relative constant value is reached. Further, the dark adaptation curve consists of two parts. The initial small curve represents the adaptations of cones, and the remainder of the curve represents the adaptation of rods. When fully dark adapted, the retina is about 1 lakh times more sensitive to light than when bleached. Delayed dark adaptation occurs in diseases of rods like retinitis pigmentosa and vitamin A deficiency. Light adaptation. When one passes suddenly from a dim to a brightly lighted environment, the light seems intensely and even uncomfortably bright until the eyes adapt to the increased illumination and the visual threshold rises. The process by means of which retina adapts itself to bright light is called light adaptation. Unlike dark adaptation, the process of light adaptation is very quick and occurs over a period of 5 minutes. Strictly speaking, light adaptation is merely the disappearance of dark adaptation. Form sense. It is the ability to discriminate between the shapes of objects. Cones play a major role in this faculty. Therefore, form sense is most acute at the fovea, where there are maximum number of cones and decreases very rapidly towards the periphery. Visual acuity recorded by Snellen's test chart is a measure of the form sense. Components of visual acuity in clinical practice, the measurement of the threshold of discrimination of two spatially separated targets, a function of the fovea centralis, is termed visual acuity. However, in theory, visual acuity is a highly complex function that consists of the following components. Minimum visible. It is the ability to determine whether an object is present or not. Resolution. Ordinary visual acuity. Discrimination of two spatially separated targets is termed resolution. The minimum separation between the 2 points, which can be discriminated as two, is known as minimum resolvable. Measurement of the threshold of discrimination is essentially an assessment of the function of the fovea centralis and is termed as ordinary visual acuity. Histologically, the diameter of a cone in the foveal region is 0.004 mm, and this therefore represents the smallest distance between two cones. It is reported that in order to produce an image of minimum size of 0.004 millimeter, which is the resolving power of the eye, the object must subtend a visual angle of 1 minute at the nodal point of the eye. It is called the minimum angle of resolution, MAR. The clinical tests determining the visual acuity measure the form sense or reading ability of the eye. Thus, broadly, resolution refers to the ability to identify the spatial characteristics of a test figure. The test targets in these tests may either consist of letters like Snellen's charts or broken circles like Landau's rings. More complex targets include gratings and checkerboard patterns. Recognition. It is that faculty by virtue of which an individual not only discriminates the spatial characteristics of the test pattern but also identifies the patterns with which he has had some experience. Recognition is thus a task involving cognitive components in addition to spatial resolution. For recognition, the individual should be familiar with the set of test figures employed in addition to being able to resolve them. The most common example of recognition phenomenon is identification of faces. The average adult can recognize thousands of faces. Thus, the form sense is not purely a retinal function, as the perception of its composite form, example letters, is largely psychological. Minimum discriminable refers to the spatial distinction by an observer when the threshold is much lower than the ordinary acuity. The best example of minimum discriminable is Vernier acuity, which refers to the ability to determine whether or not two parallel and straight lines are aligned in the frontal plane. Sense of contrast. It is the ability of the eye to perceive slight changes in the luminance between regions which are not separated by definite borders. Loss of contrast sensitivity results in mild fogginess of the vision. Contrast sensitivity is affected by various factors like age, refractive errors, glaucoma, amblyopia, diabetes, optic nerve diseases, and lenticular changes. Further contrast sensitivity may be impaired even in the presence of normal visual acuity. Measurement of contrast sensitivity. In clinical practice, the contrast sensitivity can be measured by using any of the following charts with letters or stripes represented in various shades of grey. Arden gratings, Cambridge low contrast gratings, Pelly-Robson contrast sensitivity chart which consists of letters arranged in triplets. The contrast sensitivity decreases from one triplet to the next. YZ-Tech chart and functional acuity contrast test FACT. Color sense. It is the ability of the eye to discriminate between different colors excited by light of different wavelengths. Color vision is a function of the cones and thus better appreciated in photopic vision. In dim light, that is scotopic vision, all colors are seen grey, and this phenomenon is called Purkinje shift. Theories of color vision. The process of color analysis begins in the retina and is not entirely a function of the brain. Many theories have been put forward to explain the color perception, but two have been particularly influential: trichromatic theory and the opponent color theory of Hering. Trichromatic theory. The trichromacy of color vision was originally suggested by Young and subsequently modified by Helmholtz. Hence, it is called Young-Helmholtz theory. It postulates the existence of three kinds of cones, each containing a different photopigment, which is maximally sensitive to one of the three primary colors, that is red, green, and blue. The sensation of any given color is determined by the relative frequency of the impulse from each of the three cone systems. In other words, a given color consists of an admixture of the three primary colors in different proportions. The correctness of the Young-Helmholtz trichromacy theory of color vision has now been demonstrated by the identification and chemical characterization of each of the three pigments by recombinant DNA technique, each having different absorption spectrum as below. It is shown in the figure. Red sensitive cone pigment, also known as erythrolape, or long wavelength sensitive LWS cone pigment, absorbs maximally in a yellow portion with a peak at 565 nanometers, but its spectrum extends far enough into the long wavelength to sense red. Green sensitive cone pigment, also known as chlorolape or medium wavelength sensitive cone pigment, absorbs maximally in the green portion with a peak at 535 nanometers. Blue sensitive cone pigment, also known as cyanolape or short wavelength sensitive SWS cone pigment, absorbs maximally in the blue violet portion of the spectrum with the peak at 440 nanometers. Thus, the Young Helmholtz theory concludes that blue, green, and red are primary colors. But the cones with their maximal sensitivity in the yellow portion of the spectrum are at a lower threshold than green. It has been studied that the gene for human rhodopsin is located on chromosome 3 and the gene for blue sensitive cone is located on chromosome 7. The genes for the red and green sensitive cones are arranged in tandem array on the Q arm of the X chromosomes. Now, the second theory is the opponent color theory of Herring. The opponent color theory of Herring points out that some colors appear to be mutually exclusive. There's no such color as reddish green, and such phenomenon can be difficult to explain on the basis of trichromatic theory alone. In fact, it seems that both theories are useful in that color vision is trichromatic at the level of photoreceptors, and color opponency occurs at the ganglion cell and onwards. According to the opponent color theory, there are two main types of color opponent ganglion cells. One is the red green opponent color cells use signals from red and green cones to detect the red or green contrast within their receptive field. Blue yellow opponent color cells obtain a yellow signal from the summed output of red and green cones, which is contrasted with the output from the blue cones within the receptive field. Electrophysiological tests have been evolved to assess the function of rod cone system in the visual pathway. These include electroretinography ERG to assess the response of retinal cells to a flash of light, flash ERG, or pattern stimulus, pattern ERG. Electrooculography EOG to study the function of retinal pigment epithelium and interaction between the photoreceptor RPE junction. Visual evoked potential to assess the function of the visual pathway. Okay, so we finished before 30 minutes, which is good. Thank you for listening.